Welcome to Cold One Sports. I'm your host, Damian, my co host, David.
Hello.
And we got our first guest, and that is Mr. Jarod at the bottom there. What I like about this is Jared's room's so dark that it looks like his background never ends.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, the way I mean, like when you look down at the bottom, like it's just nothing but darkness. You know what I mean? I don't know. Anyways,
there's a pretty strong cutoff. Okay.
it is. Shut up. Well, this is our first branch off podcast of Conversation Cold Ones. So normally we'll have Jordan on as another co-host, but he can't do that right now. And so we got our next best option, which was Matt, but he didn't want to do it. And then we got Jarod.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Unfortunate.
That is unfortunate, but it's all right.
Oh, David's frozen.
Oh, David's good. We're good.
Now he is.
So let's get right into it. What was this? Yesterday? Yeah, Saturday. The Los Angeles Rams traded for Matthew Stafford. So the Detroit Lions received Jared Goff, 2 future first-round picks, and a third-round pick. David, first off, who do you think won the trade? And where do you see the Rams and Lions being next year?
I think the Rams won the trade 100%. I don't like Jared Goff. I don't know what it is. I just don't like him.
Is he because he's cuter than you?
Jared Goff is ugly. What? No. Matthew Stafford is a very good quarterback. He was overlooked, obviously, because he's on the Lions.
Right.
And the Lions suck. But now he's a team around him.
Right.
So I think the Rams are going to be back to maybe not Super Bowl contenders, but back in the long run in the playoffs. And then I don't know about the Lions. I don't think the Lions are going to be very good. Maybe a wild card spot.
Spot. Yeah. So Rams obviously I think won this trade. I don't think Jared Goff's terrible. But the Rams are obviously in a win now mode. But Jared, what do you think of the trade that happened?
So personally, I believe that Jared Goff is a pretty damn decent quarterback. Just he had a bad year. Obviously, looking back, he brought the Rams to the Super Bowl in 2018, and that was, I mean, they may have lost to the Patriots, but it was still quite an accomplishment for that team. So I think that the Rams. Oh, I'm not sure. See, the Rams, I think, made a bit of a mistake. Well, not necessarily a mistake, because I do believe that they won this trade or had like a better deal in this trade. But I still think they should have given Jared Goff more of a chance because, I mean, he clearly can do well. It's just having one bad season. I feel like there might be something going on behind the scenes the public doesn't know that would have caused this trade to go through, other than just stats. Because I think that Jared Goff definitely had an opportunity to do more, given the right amount of time. I mean, like, look at Baker, for example. He wasn't the greatest, and then this year we got to the playoffs. So I don't know. I feel like maybe they made a mistake. But when it comes to Matthew Stafford, I mean, the Lions are fucking fools for trading him. Like you guys were saying, like he's definitely a top range QB. The only thing is, like, the only reason I would understand them doing it is if they're doing a full like team wide rebuild.
Well, so that's what happened. That's what's happening.
It is confirmed they're doing that.
Yeah, and
before, I mean, you don't just trade away your starting quarterback,
right? And before the trade happened, Stafford and the Lions came to the agreement that they both wanted to move on. So it wasn't like, it's not like Stafford wanted to stay; he wanted to go.
He wanted to go. Yeah. Well, hopefully Goff could do something for them. I mean, because clearly he has potential. Maybe he just needs a different environment to do so.
Right. Yeah, I think the Rams definitely won right now. The only way I could see this going, hard to explain. If they don't win the Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford, they are screwed because they are going to have Aaron Donald with an expiring contract, Jalen Ramsey with an expiring contract, 2 of their top wide receivers, Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, with an expiring contract, 2 of their O-line members with an expiring contract, all within the next 3 years. And then you have Matthew Stafford. So you just lost 2 first-round picks. So those are 2 rookie contracts for 5 years. And, you know, you got to win the Super Bowl in the next 2 years, or you are going to have to start over.
Yep.
Sounds
And-
like the Steelers. They have 26 free agents this
Exactly.
offseason.
And that's going to be them in a few years. And it's not like, especially with like COVID, teams can't go over the salary cap right now, like super high. I mean, the Saints are 90 million over, and they're about to get rid of their whole team basically. So it's going to be a rough road for them. I do think they're Super Bowl contenders. I mean, we're talking about a defense that was number 1 in passing and then top 10 in rushing defense. I mean, with Aaron Donald, you're going to get that. And, an offense that for the past few years has been, top 15-ish. Last year, they weren't that great because of Jared Goff having a bad year. But I think overall, they got better with Matthew Stafford. I think the Lions are in a good spot, though. They remind me of our beloved Browns before we got good. Because, even though they've had the quarterback, they haven't had the coach, they haven't had the defense, they haven't had the running backs, the wide receivers. And, they finally got Kenny Galladay, like we got Jarvis Landry, a solid wide receiver that can stay. And now they just got to draft a great quarterback and get the coach right, which I don't think they have the right coach. But, they got 2 first-rounders for him. I feel that's pretty good. And Jared Goff, like, if he proves himself well, like to do well, he could be in that team, for 10 years. It's just, can he do that?
Yeah, exactly.
And the NFC is no easy feat. You're going to go up against the Packers, Tampa Bay with Tom Brady. I would say New Orleans, but they're garbage now. And then, in your own division, the 49ers might get Deshaun Watson, and then they have a top 10 defense. So that's going to be hard.
I don't put Jared Goff up there with those names at all.
No, at all. No. Jared Goff's a top 20 quarterback.
Jared Goff is an above average quarterback, and I say that slightly.
I guess.
Yes, he did take the Rams to the Super Bowl, but
yeah.
After that, what does he have?
Well, that's the question now. So it's kind of,
and he choked in the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah. It's kind of like what happened with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, because when Tom Brady left, the question was, well, was it all Tom Brady or was it all Bill Belichick? Now we're going to see.
Tom Brady's in the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So we know who it was.
Yeah, we knew. Yeah.
Yeah. But now the question is, how much of Sean McVay was part of their success and how much of it was actually like Jared Goff making the right play? I'm going to go with Sean McVay, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, Tom Brady definitely won that divorce. But yeah, to go over Matthew Stafford, for his career, he has 282 touchdowns, 144 interceptions. The only talent he's ever had around him was Calvin Johnson, who I think is the best wide receiver of all time. And they were balling.
Megatron.
And then Eric Ebron, who was dropping passes all the time. Eric Ebron has only been good on the Steelers. People forget. Pro Football Focus has Stafford graded as the 14th best QB in the league, behind a mediocre line. Goff is 22nd, so he's definitely fallen off from, I think last year he was like 17th. So we'll see. Now he has a better coach, a better defense, a better wide receiving core. No excuses anymore. You got to at least make the NFC Championship. But
who, Goff or Stafford?
Stafford.
Okay.
Rams. If the Rams don't make the NFC Championship this year, they lost the trade, because they're going to have no cap room for everyone else. Because you have to sign Aaron Donald. Out of all the players on that field, you sign Aaron Donald.
If you don't make it to the Super Bowl, I think Aaron Donald's going to want out.
It depends. I'm sure.
I guess it depends on the year. Maybe if they make the playoffs and they make a long run, maybe you'll want to stay.
Yeah, look at the J.J. Watt situation. That dude's about to leave Texas.
Texans are going to be so bad.
Oh, yeah. Well, speaking.
All right, I'm drawing a blank here. Aaron Donald, he was the defensive tackle, right? Not the cornerback.
He's a right end.
Ramsey. Oh, he's a right end.
Yes.
Jalen Ramsey is
the cornerback.
Okay,
best
that's
corner
right.
in the league.
I keep mixing them up.
Best corner in the league. But speaking of the Texans.
Well, speaking of Houston, yeah.
Yeah. They've had.
That's a train wreck. That's a whole train wreck.
Yeah. So let's just look back. 2 years ago, they had Deshaun Watson, Will Fuller, J.J. Watt, and DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes, sir.
And now here we are, where they are about to have none of those players, because Will Fuller,
Yeah.
Will Fuller's a free agent and he's gonna go.
No, he's suspended.
Well, yeah, but he becomes a free agent.
Oh, is it? Okay, I didn't know
Yeah,
if his
and
contract was.
I don't think anybody's re-signing the Texans.
Deshaun Watson wants out at their new head coach,
Yeah,
or was it new manager? I
well,
forget,
both.
but they said I signed with the Texans knowing Deshaun Watson was the quarterback.
Yep. And so here's what happened. Deshaun Watson has officially requested for a trade. I'm sure JJ Watt will be next in the next week or so. Texans last year went 4-12, but even though they went 4-12, Deshaun Watson was ranked the third best QB by Pro Football Focus. And what's nice about Pro Football Focus is they grade every single throw that you make. They don't go just by the stats. They look at every single throw, give a throw grade, and then they average it out. He is third behind Aaron Rodgers and I think Tom Brady. So, I mean, you are in elite company. You are the third best quarterback in the league. And your team went 4-12. And, it's hard. They fired their coach halfway through the season, but, Deshaun Watson still shined. Here's what I'm going to say. I think if, besides two teams, named the Chiefs and the Packers, if the Texans call for Deshaun Watson to be traded to your team, I think every team has a very long conversation about it.
I gotta agree with that. Yeah.
I don't even like Tampa Bay right now with Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. If I'm Tampa Bay, I'm taking a trade. They're gonna get Deshaun Watson, a younger player. I think every other team in the league would take the trade.
Yeah.
But if you're Tampa Bay, you have Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not going to want to. He's going to want to play.
Yeah, exactly.
Deshaun Watson's not. Watson does not want to be on the bench.
Well, it'd be a trade for Tom Brady. It would have to be, which we'll talk about what Deshaun Watson's worth.
Oh, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so it would have to be so to put it in perspective, because we're Browns fans, if the Texans called, I'm pretty sure we would have to give up Baker Mayfield and Odell and 2 first-round picks.
We can talk about that too.
And I think if you're the Browns, you have to at least consider it.
I think they would consider, but if I'm the Browns, I'm sticking with Bake.
I mean, you have to at least consider it.
You would consider, obviously. I mean, it's Deshaun Watson, but
it would be a few meetings. It would be a long call. So I have a list of teams that I think are in the running, like the 4 teams that stand out. So first I have the 49ers, who I think so the 49ers sent an offer for Matthew Stafford and they didn't get him. So I think their next option is Deshaun Watson. Even though the Texans don't want to trade him, they're going to have to trade him. So Matthew Stafford, they got 2 first-round picks out of the Rams. So Deshaun Watson is worth an ungodly amount of picks, but you can only trade so much. I think his value is going to be 4 first-round draft picks in a player from the 49ers. I mean, and you're going to have to give him a third as well. So you're going to have to trade Jimmy G.
Niners, I was going to say.
Yeah, you're going to have to trade Jimmy Garoppolo and 4 first-rounders to get Deshaun Watson. And the second the 49ers get Deshaun Watson, they're the Super Bowl favorites. A top 10 defense, a great wide receiver core, and a great coach.
Yeah.
And the best tight end in the league. So I think after that it goes to the Colts. I don't think the Colts would be like an immediate favorite to win, but I mean the Colts, a great defense, a great head coach, and an okay offense. I mean they have a great O-line, but I think they're a team that could definitely rival Kansas City. Because you got to remember, Kansas City has 2 years left of this. I mean, because in 2 years Tyreek Hill's gone, and in 2 years Travis Kelce's going to be gone because you just can't afford all their contracts. Maybe you can keep one, and at that point, who do you keep? Keep Tyreek Hill, but then you're not going to have a defense. You're not going to have another star wide receiver, so it's going to be very rough for Kansas City in the next 3 to 4 years.
Absolutely.
But yeah, the Colts would have to give up because they don't have a quarterback to trade. So they're going to have to give up even more picks and a star defensive player. And it's not like they can trade T.Y. Hilton because he's not good anymore. I feel like the only wide receiver that's worth trading right now, well, there's two, is Michael Thomas and Odell Beckham Jr. Those are the only two that actually have like value.
I don't think he's gonna go to the Colts. I don't think that's
Well, he may not have a
good
choice.
option. He said one of his landing spots he wants is Dolphins.
Dolphins, yes, we'll
I
talk about
don't. I don't.
Deshaun Watson,
Oh,
which we'll talk about in just a second. So the Jets also are obviously interested in looking into him. If I'm Deshaun Watson, I don't want this because the Jets are going to have to trade Sam Darnold and then their number 2 pick, which is, is a great player, and a ton of picks. And it's not like the Jets have anything after that. The Jets have to rebuild. If I'm the Jets, I don't want this trade because you have to rebuild.
I mean, they maybe have Jamison Crowder. That's
like, I mean, like their wide receiver core isn't the worst, but like at the end of the at the end of the day, you have to. Deshaun Watson needs people around him. He can't do it like you've already seen. And with Houston, it doesn't work when nobody's around him. So you can't put him on the Jets and expect to be a playoff team because there's nobody around him, and you can't build around him because his contract's so high. Mm-hmm. So the Jets, I just don't understand. Miami, I think, is the match made in heaven. I mean, yeah. I mean, look at their cornerbacks. Byron and Xavier are top 5 cornerbacks. I mean, they're probably the best cornerback duo. And, you have Devontae Parker and a decent running back core. I mean, the Dolphins were almost a playoff team with Tua and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
They get Deshaun Watson. They are a bona fide stud of a team. I mean, this team could beat any team. I don't think the Dolphins should do it though. I mean, you got Tua, you got to give him another year. I mean, he's only played 1 year, and you have the 3rd pick in the NFL draft and a bunch of other ones after that. Keep building that team up.
Yeah.
Worry about it. I mean, give Tua another year, and if it doesn't work, there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks in free agency next year, or you could draft another one. I mean, so many quarterbacks that are drafted and turn out to be good aren't ones that are, the top 5 QBs chosen. I mean, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the list just keep going. These Hall of Fame people aren't being chosen top 5. Mm-hmm. But David, out of all the teams in the NFL, what team do you think would be the best fit for Deshaun Watson?
So I just have a list of teams and a couple teams that I don't. I have the Broncos. I don't think he's gonna go to the Broncos.
No.
I have the Steelers, even though they just signed.
I would Dwayne Haskins. I would kill myself. I would kill myself.
Yeah, I don't know why they signed Dwayne Haskins. They could have easily traded Deshaun Watson.
Is Ben staying? I guarantee it.
But Ben isn't good anymore.
I know. Well, but that's the thing. The Steelers are screwing themselves because Ben is like a $60 million cap hit right now. So you can't sign any free agents.
They easily traded for Deshaun Watson.
They could have. You know what? You call him and give up TJ Watt or something.
And then there's a couple other teams like the football team and the Panthers.
The football team's not that bad. I mean, playoff team, yeah, they had a losing record, but like they have all the makings to be a great team. I mean, you got Antonio Gibson, Scary Terry on the wide receiver or at the wide receiver position. Yeah, Chase Young. I mean, they have a great defense.
But started off a little rocky, but
go to that whole division, to be honest with you. So Jarod, where would you want Deshaun Watson to go?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say want, but I could see him going to either the Panthers or the Jaguars.
So you think the Jaguars you think the Jags give up number 1 pick for him?
Possibly. I mean, because I was sitting here trying to remember like the QBs that aren't that great who could be that like the teams that could definitely use someone better, and I was like, I can't even remember who the QB or who the Jaguars have as a QB, but I know that they definitely need the help. I mean, especially with weren't they? Is it Minshew?
Yeah,
it's Gardner.
Weren't they 1 in 15? 15, yeah. Yes. I almost said 1 in 12. Yeah, they were like not great. So maybe having a better quarterback could do a lot of good for him.
I would just like to say real quick, Gardner Minshew's a decent quarterback. He should be a starter in the NFL.
It's either with that trade are you going to give up Trevor Lawrence for Deshaun Watson?
I mean, you're taking on a bigger contract with Deshaun Watson. I feel like if you're the Jags, you have to draft Trevor Lawrence and
Mhm.
just build around
Trevor
him.
Lawrence will. I think Trevor Lawrence will go well with Urban Meyer.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't think the Jags do that
No.
because you don't know. You don't know with Trevor Lawrence. You don't know what you're getting.
Right.
That's
He could
fair.
be this star, like Patrick Mahomes.
Right. And
Sure.
with Deshaun Watson being up for trade, basically, a lot of like fans from each teams have been making their dream trades for Deshaun Watson, and even us, as Browns fans, you know,
Baker Mayfield, OBJ.
I would like to say, halfway through the season, I was one of those people pushing for Baker Mayfield to be traded.
Yeah.
I was constantly sitting there saying, if Dak Prescott calls and wants to be on our team, you take Dak Prescott.
Oh, for sure.
And I mean, Baker Mayfield had a great end of the season, and I love Baker being on the Browns, but it's a hard pass. Like it is hard to pass Deshaun Watson.
No, that's fair.
But I stand with Baker. I feel like that giving up that much would hurt the Browns.
I also saw this tweet. It was like Deshaun Watson went 4-12, and his team has been to the playoffs previously. Went 4-12, and he quit on his team. Baker Mayfield wanted to be on an 0-16 team. Who are you going to take?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
you have someone who quits on his team, and you have someone who is just.
Yeah, and I also think Odell is very valuable, and I think the Browns should keep Odell as well and have him play next year on our team.
I agree. I think it'd be a lot of good come from that.
Yeah, as like Baker Mayfield, you got to figure that shit out about constantly throwing to him, because we all know the stat Baker Mayfield's worse when Odell's out there. That shouldn't be a thing. You need to figure that shit out and be the franchise quarterback.
I mean, I think that's mainly on OBJ. Every time he has a game where he only gets like 2 receptions or something, he throws a hissy fit.
I mean, yeah, but that's up.
He's OBJ.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's up to the QB and wide receiver to figure that out. But there was a lot of times where Baker is forced. I mean, the injury that costed Odell this year happened because Baker forced it to him and threw an interception. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the people who are asking for the Browns to trade for him, I feel like that would hurt us more than do good.
Oh, for sure.
And I mean, Baker, like David said, this dude wanted to be drafted by us after we went 0-16. I mean, the dude's a dog. He's had one bad year, and he came back and performed and balled and took us to the fucking playoffs and beat the Steelers.
Yeah, we won a playoff game, and we went to the playoffs for the first time since 2002, and now we want to trade the quarterback?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just hard. It's a hard thing to look at, but I'm sticking with Baker Mayfield.
I just feel like
yeah, I can agree with that.
I can't blame a lot of Browns fans because, you know, it's been rough. It's been rough. So the possibility of getting a top 3 quarterback sounds nice, but our team is built with Baker in mind and has that style for Baker.
I know. It's just like we finally have a team.
Right.
You know what I mean? Baker Mayfield has, 4 head coaches in his first 3 seasons?
Yep.
And he finally has, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's hard because, like I said, Deshaun Watson is top 3, but Baker Mayfield's also like a top 10 quarterback. I mean, we're talking about that. When you win a playoff game, you are a top 10 quarterback in the league.
It's a Cleveland Brown.
As a Cleveland Brown, right?
Also?
Yeah. As a Cleveland Brown also.
There.
Without your coach, by the way, without your coach in that playoff game. And I always give Baker this. We should have beat Kansas City. He should have made the fucking play. But, you know, he's still young, whatever.
Well, you know, if there was a rule about the helmet on helmet contact.
That is true.
I don't know.
That is true. We don't need to talk about that.
Maybe this would be a much different.
Maybe we'd be in the Super Bowl, you know?
Maybe we'd be the ones to lose to Tom Brady, you know?
That's right.
I think he proved himself, but if he drove down the field in the 4th quarter and scored a touchdown, cold-blooded, dude.
Cold-blooded. Exactly.
Sign him 20 years. I don't care.
So
but I didn't have to be lost. I'm sad. Whatever.
The next quarterback we want to talk about is also a quarterback like Jared Goff, who had a very bad year, ranked dead last in quarterback rankings. That is Carson Wentz. Now, I'm a Carson Wentz believer. I've always been. I mean, yeah, I feel like they're going to trade him. Carson Wentz, every year he's played besides this one, was a top 10 quarterback in the league. I mean, the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl, he was going to be the MVP, but he got injured. He's a little injury prone. This year,
Just a little bit.
this year, I don't know what he was doing. He was too busy hunting or something because that dude lost it all. I think a lot of it does come down to the coaching as well. But last year, one of the craziest games I watched was the final game the Eagles played, and Carson Wentz was throwing to nobodies. People who he was throwing to the people the Browns had on their wide receiving core when we faced the Jets, which was nobody. Yeah, wide receiving core, which was nobody. And this dude won the game because he was escaping the pocket. He looked better than Russell Wilson. That's how I feel. And I feel like Carson Wentz could be a top 5 quarterback. But right now, he's dead last. So
But then who is the Eagles' other quarterback?
well, Jalen Hurts. Yes. And
now build around him? Question mark.
That's what I was
Jalen
going to
Hurts?
say. I feel
Jalen Hurts
Yeah.
did pretty good.
Oh yeah.
The game that he came out, like when Carson Wentz was brought out to the sidelines, whatever, he did okay, like better than okay. I think Jalen Hurts has a chance if they get rid of Carson Wentz, but I also feel like maybe they should give Carson Wentz a little bit more of a chance. But Jalen Hurts is not a bad like person to build a team around at
Right.
all.
Well, I think the problem is the relationship between the team and Carson's kind of done. Plus, if you trade Carson, you can still get a first round pick for him.
For sure.
He's still very valuable. Now, so like run down the teams I think are going to go for him. I think the team he should definitely go to is the Colts. Because Frank Reich was on the Eagles coaching staff the year Carson Wentz was going to be MVP and the year before that. So they already know how to work in a system together, and Carson Wentz was at his best with Frank Reich, who's the coach of the Colts now. And the Colts are a quarterback away from being a potential Super Bowl team. We did beat them though last year. That's all I'm going to say. But it's hard to say. But if I'm the Eagles, I definitely get rid of him. Build around Jalen. He can obviously play, hopefully. But I don't think Carson can stay on that team. So Jarod, where would you want to see Carson Wentz go, or what do you think is the best fit?
I got to be real with you. My opinion on Carson Wentz is that they give him another chance. Like, give him at least another year before saying, "Oh, send him somewhere else." But if I had to pick somewhere to send him, like if I was forced to, I would say let the Jets get a shot with him, and then have Sam Darnold go to the Eagles as a backup. Not that he'd be okay with that, but it's not like he has a choice since he's fucking ass as a QB. If I had to pick, that's where I'd say Carson Wentz could go to give some kind of opportunity. Other than that, I would want him to have one more year with the Eagles to see if he does any good whatsoever.
So the Jets would have to give up their second pick in the draft.
Probably, yeah.
Would they even do that, though?
Fuck, man, I couldn't tell you.
What about you, David?
It would all depend.
I'm just thinking about now. The Broncos could be a good fit for Carson Wentz.
Yeah?
Broncos would have to give up a lot. I mean, I don't know. The Broncos don't really have that many people, but I mean,
they got a good wide receiving core. Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, I think Carson. I mean, I don't know. I think he would be a good fit for the Broncos. I mean, the Broncos, they kind of suck.
They're always mediocre.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't trust Drew Lock.
It's Drew Lock, baby.
Okay, yeah, I understand that one viral video that he had.
Right. I
work for NASA.
I would just like to say that the Broncos, like, they went from making the playoffs every year, winning a Super Bowl, to Drew Lock.
Well, they had Peyton Manning though,
and they had Tim Tebow. You remember that crazy game, the playoff game against the Steelers? First play in overtime, fucking launched that motherfucker and won the game. Tim Tebow,
that one-hit wonder.
Tim Tebow did that. Oh, he's fucking kneeling in the end zone, praying to God. Like,
maybe the football team too. Maybe.
I mean, I think the football team, if they get a quarterback, they win their division easily. But
it's just hard to see if teams trying to trade for Carson Wentz after the season he had. I don't know.
I know.
Fair.
Hey, 49ers could also call. The 49ers could also call.
Niners football team, Broncos,
Yep.
Panthers, maybe even.
Our second to last one is Sam Darnold, who is really interesting to say the least.
He's going to have to either compete for that starting job or they're just going to trade him.
Well, so that's the thing. I mean, sometimes when you watch him play, you're like, okay, this guy has it.
Well,
He has
when he has a clean pocket, he's like he's really good.
Yeah.
But every other situation,
he's really bad. Yes.
He's really bad.
Now, how much of it's Adam Gase and the Jets and how much is it Sam Darnold? That's the question. I think Sam Darnold should be going to the 49ers or going to I mean, I think you ask to go to the 49ers and you hope they trade for you. Because you're a California kid, you get to go back there in a great like offensive scheme. I am praying that you don't stay on the Jets, Sam Darnold, because that's going to be hard. But I would also like to say I would kind of like for him to stay on the Jets so that the Jets don't take another quarterback and ruin their career. The Jets are what we used to be. The Browns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no one wants to be on the Jets.
Yeah, because like the Browns, every time we took a quarterback, it's like, okay, your career's over. Brady Quinn. Yeah, well, Brady Quinn, Colt McCoy, Money Manziel wasn't ever going to make it, no matter where he went. But like, you know, Johnny Manziel, like just a little bit. The Browns have been through a lot of quarterbacks. Jesus Christ. Connor Shaw, dude was a baller.
Dude, Deshaun Kaiser was the one, man. I still think.
Dude, I was so hyped for that season. Oh my god.
And then we went 0-16. Whatever.
Yeah, I know. Hugh Jackson, baby. But
hey, we got something good out of it. So.
Yeah, we got Baker Mayfield out of it.
Yeah.
It was worth it. Hopefully.
And then eventually OBJ.
Yeah, and a playoff win. So hey, everything happens for a reason. But yeah, the Jets are us now. And I would hate for Justin Fields to go there and have his career ruined like Sam Darnold. Because now Sam Darnold's worth a second round pick probably. But I mean, I feel like a lot of teams don't even have him on their board. So his options are very slim. I could see him ending up on the Saints, the 49ers, because the Saints have no one now.
What are the chances they keep him as a second string?
I don't know if they'll keep him as a second string because he's valuable right now. I think the better question is what are the chances of them keeping him to be a starter? And I think it's 50-50.
Personally, I think they should trade him and get what you can for what he's worth now.
Right.
Because like in a year or two, he might not be worth anything.
Well, exactly. Well, especially if he keeps having the seasons that he has.
Yeah, especially if he keeps being him.
Right. Hey, you know, just that draft class has turned. So I remember when the draft was happening, people were talking about, you know, Sam Darnold being the best QB in the draft, Josh Allen possibly being the worst QB in the draft because he was just interception prone. Lamar Jackson wasn't even on anyone's radar. And then it was a toss-up between Josh Rosen from UCLA or Baker Mayfield.
Josh Rosen, dude.
And at the end of the day, the person who everyone thought was going to be the best quarterback, Sam Darnold, has been the second worst one. And the other three that were rated lower than Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold have all won a playoff game. And one of them has won an MVP. I think, you know, Lamar's overrated, which we'll talk about another time. But three of those quarterbacks. We
have a whole podcast about that.
Yeah. Three of those quarterbacks.
We are Browns fans, so.
Exactly. Three of those quarterbacks have won a playoff game. One of those quarterbacks may be traded, and the other one is somewhere in the NFL right now. I don't know which team Josh Rosen's on right now, but I know he was on the Dolphins last year.
I forgot he was a thing.
Yeah, I know, because he can't play. I mean, the Cardinals drafted him 1 year later, got rid of him for Kyler Murray, which I mean was smart by them. But like, you know, and then the Dolphins get him, and he was just
he got his back, and he was out.
Yeah, he was. Josh Rosen was a great college quarterback too. It's such a shame because he could have been like the next. He should have been like what Justin Herbert is right now, like step in, make the fucking throws, be offensive rookie of the year. But our last one, and this is just a fun one. Dak Prescott's a free agent right now. Coming off that injury. So
He's like 100%.
He's
free agent, or is
100%
he
a
like-
free agent.
Oh shit!
Okay. Let's just hypothetical here. Let's say the
I
Cowboys.
don't see him.
Let's see the Cowboys don't sign him back. Who do you think he signs with? Because it's a big contract. You're gonna have to pay him a lot of money.
He's going to want to go to a playoff contender, obviously.
I know the team. I think
who's
you
that?
sign with Washington
I can
because
see it.
you can get back at the Cowboys.
Because that division sucks.
Yeah, you can get back at the Cowboys. You can win the division. You have a great defense behind you, and they have the cap room. I mean, you can't go to the Saints. You can't go to really any NFC team because they all have their quarterback set. And you can't go to really any other AFC team because they all have their quarterbacks. They're about to draft one. I feel like Washington's in the perfect spot, or the Panthers, to really like sign him. And
What about the Colts? Because they are looking
the Colts
for a
could,
quarterback.
yeah. The Colts could. It
Yeah,
depends on what the Colts are. So free agency starts in like a month or so. So it depends on what the Colts are going to do in that month.
I can see Dak signing with Washington.
Yeah, I feel like that's where you go, right? I mean, you're already better than the Cowboys.
It's either I see Deshaun Watson or Dak with Washington.
Yep.
Unless, I think it's very likely Cowboys do re-sign him.
Oh yeah, I think that's
But
most
then
likely
again,
what's
you
gonna
had the
happen.
whole thing. You had the whole thing last year with how he wasn't getting the
Right.
money he wanted, and
They didn't want to give it to him.
I think it's 50-50, but
Yeah, I feel like if you're the Cowboys, you have
either
to
way,
sign
I'm not
him.
going to be surprised.
No. But I feel like if you're the Cowboys, you have to sign him.
Yeah.
I just kind of
they have Andy Dalton. What are you talking about?
right. The Red Rifle. That's what Cincinnati used to call him, man. The Red fucking Rifle. Oh, I hated him.
The Red Rocket.
So there's some other teams that I just kind of wanted to list off. I think Jimmy Garoppolo ends up back up on the Patriots. Somehow, he will get on that team again.
Well, they've got Cam.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do got Cam. You're right.
Yeah, exactly.
And he will not be on that team next year or their starter.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was not good.
Well, yeah.
How many 4 interceptions in one game, and then got benched for Jarod Stidham. And then finally, I see Jameis Winston going to the Bears.
Why?
Because one, Saints don't have the cap room to sign him. The Bears do, and the Bears are not keeping Mitchell Trubisky for another year.
Fair.
What are you talking about, bro? He's a all pro.
He's very average. He does nothing well. He just does everything okay. And the Bears,
Just okay. It's not
right?
No.
The Bears are a playoff team with a great defense. Like, you have Khalil Mack on your team. The defense is going to be great. You need a quarterback. And Jameis Winston, yes, he throws interceptions, but at least he throws and can throw. So, yeah, I got Jameis Winston going to the Bears. And then, obviously, we'll talk about the draft in, like, the next month or so. As that gets closer, we'll kind of go through a draft thing. But, so the final thing, the Super Bowl is this Sunday coming up. You have Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are favored, obviously. They haven't lost a game with their full lineup in about a year and a half. And, they've had a pretty decent playoff run. So, David, the question goes to you. One, who are you rooting for in the Super Bowl? And two, who do you think is going to win in the Super Bowl? Because those are two very different questions.
I wouldn't say I'm rooting for because I don't really care who wins, but I think it would be pretty cool to see Pat Mahomes go back to back.
Okay.
But we have this whole Tom Brady thing. Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. It's hard to say the Chiefs are going to win when you have Tom Brady.
Right.
Chiefs could definitely win. Chiefs could.
Oh yeah.
They have so much talent.
Right.
But Tom Brady.
Yeah, Tom Brady is just
So.
okay.
I think the Bucs are going to. But a close game.
Okay, Jarod, the question goes to you.
I am rooting for Kansas City because
they're your favorite team besides the Browns.
I think it'd be cool to see
Hold
them
on.
go back to similar to what David said. Yeah.
Because they're your second favorite team as well.
And also I like their receiver. I like their safety. I just think it'd be cool to see them do it again.
Okay.
However, I do believe that Brady is going to win with the Bucs. I really think that Brady's just going to do it. He's just going to pull through, but I would like to see Kansas City do it.
Okay.
But I don't think they will.
So I'm kind of on the opposite with that. I am rooting for Tom Brady because I don't like what they're doing with Pat Mahomes right now, where they are they're doing the Steph Curry effect, which I've talked about before, where anytime he does anything, he is being hailed as the god and as the best, which, I mean, I will say, he is the best young quarterback, for sure. Can't deny it. I mean, so far, his first 4 years, he's outpacing Tom Brady, like in stat-wise. He's no Aaron Rodgers. He's no Russell Wilson. And to be honest, Josh Allen gave him a run for his money this year. So at the end of the day, I'm rooting for Tom Brady because you can't hate on greatness. You can't deny greatness. I think Tom Brady is the greatest of all time, like player, not talent. That goes to Aaron Rodgers. But it's hard for me because every time I doubt Tom Brady, he does it. He wasn't supposed to be Aaron Rodgers this year. Aaron Rodgers is supposed to fucking go to that Super Bowl. And what happens? They come out and beat the Packers. They weren't supposed to even make it this far. They were supposed to lose to the Saints. But they didn't. They didn't lose to the Saints, who beat them twice before. Tom Brady I don't know how. He's 43 and he threw 3 interceptions against the Packers and still won. How does that happen? How does that happen? But here we are. He's in the Super Bowl again. I'm tired of doubting against him. I'm going to root for him because I like him more than Pat Mahomes, and I think the Bucs win by 2 touchdowns.
Damn.
All right, can I change my prediction of the Chiefs winning after you said that?
Yeah. That's a clean sweep.
But now you're rooting for him.
I am rooting for him.
Now you're rooting for him.
Yeah, I am rooting for Tom Brady to win another Super Bowl because he deserves it. He deserves it.
So I'm rooting for the Chiefs. Not really, but I am kind of. But I think the Bucs are going to take it.
Yeah, Tom Brady deserves it. He left probably the best coach of all time, went to a dysfunctional Buccaneers team who doesn't make the playoffs and whose last good coach was John Gruden, and he took him to the Super Bowl in the first year. With a dysfunctional Antonio Brown, with Gronkowski, who can barely run and looks like he's going to get injured every time he catches the ball, and no running game.
It's like the 2007, 2018 LeBron James.
Well, Tom Brady is carrying the Cavs right now, like LeBron did. That's what he's doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is crazy, and you know what? Just like LeBron, it's hard for me to root against him. So I'm gonna go with the GOAT, Tom Brady, every day.
It's fair.
But I'm ready for him to retire, though. I'd like to see another team in the Super Bowl for once. The dude goes from taking up the AFC spot in the Super Bowl to the NFC spot. Like, at least give Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees a chance this year. This was their year. And you just come in and you steal it from them. But I'm sure the Chiefs will be the same way. But yeah, Pat Mahomes, he's the next Steph Curry, and I'm going to develop a deep hate for him sooner or later. I will say, I do like the Chiefs, though, because of Andy Reid. I've always liked the Chiefs because of Andy Reid. So
yeah, Andy Reid's dope.
I mean, I was rooting for them last year. And the year before that when they faced the Patriots in the AFC Championship. So I've been rooting for them, but it's time to root for Tom Brady again. But
Fair.
Yep. So that's so all three of us going Bucs Bucks for the win?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I think they're going to win, but I don't want them to.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you hear it here first. 3 people on this podcast want the Bucks to win. Next week we're gonna go into maybe basketball talk if anything interesting happens. But I would like to go into, because free agency starts soon, I'd like to go through each NFL team and go through their weaknesses and who we would want them to sign in free agency. So we'll go through what the Browns need to do, and this is not talking the draft, of course, because the Browns have a lot of work to do in the draft as well. But like every team, go through. This is what they need. This is who they should go get. And yeah, but that's been the first episode of Cold One Sports. We'll see you guys next week, and thank you for listening.
All right.